Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Tyranny. Last episode, we reported back into Graven Ash and he gave us a mission where we are to go all the way to here, the Stone Sea, in order to take care of some quests for him. We also took a slight detour in order to take care of a small side quest we didn't do. We'll go to these two side quests that we have, eventually, but first we were told to report into the Bastard City. First, though, we need to actually take a quick trip up to the library to pick up something. Because something we did there was completed, and I would very much like to have it. If you don't mind, of course. How may I serve you today? What's the status of your research? I'm happy to say I've made great progress. He beams at you and exhales a welcome breath. Allow me to show you my findings. Sigil of Killing Blows. We know this sigil. I want you to research something. Poison recipe, we could. We actually have both things required for it. We need another recruit for the dagger plans. Which, I mean, I guess I could easily get. That one's almost done. This one. Stone Atrophy Force, Fire Frost Lightning. I guess a master trainer with the... Oh, I don't really care about... Well, it'll give us control emotions, so sure. Now that we have it, let's go with the dagger plans. Because I'd like to have those. Thank you. Is it you who gives us the things that are here? No, you just sell things. Yeah, we already know Material Force. And we already know Killing Blows. Also don't care about. Is there anything else here? Bronze Throwing Dagger. Bronze Dagger. Bronze Javelin. Cloth Tunic. Alright, trade those away, thank you. Now then, let us go report in to Tunon. He desires our attention. Take a couple days. Interesting that we had to teleport there in order to go up there. Was there no way through through Twin Rivers? Ah, and Scorn should be done by now. Yes. Scorn is completed. Excellent. Let us head up and speak. To mighty Tunon. And we are here. Let us speak.
You return as summoned, despite the weight of responsibility on your shoulders. The court appreciates your devotion to our good work. It should come as no surprise that your activities are closely monitored. As an extension of Kairos' law in the frontier, your progress is a topic of some interest. I sent you on a mission to bring order to the chaos of this civil war. Not enough time has passed for me to expect any significant progress, but I am curious about your findings all the same. I want to make sure your time outside the court's shadow is being used effectively. I understand that you've made a name for yourself in the ranks of the disfavored. Good. With the confidence of his soldiers, you should have no trouble rooting out corruption or chaos in Graven Ash's elite legion.
I am happy to be an asset to Kairos' forces and to pull chaos out by the root.
That is all this court has ever demanded of you. You do well to recall your duties with such exacting precision. You have spent some time on your own recognizance. The efforts of our military and the challenges they face should be no mystery to you. Tell me, Are you any closer to determining which of the Archons is at fault for the troubles of this campaign?
I do not have sufficient information to make an informed accusation.
Come now. Your decision does not bind you to an accusation at this time. I only wish to know if you have had success uncovering any evidence of misdeed or malfeasance. If you believe either of the Archons has acted in a manner not befitting their station, give voice to it.
I have not found enough evidence on either Archon. I do not feel comfortable making an accusation at this time.
Perhaps this court has placed too much faith in you, Fatebinder. Or maybe you have been given too much leeway based on your station. I am disappointed that you have not yet found enough evidence to even suggest which of the Archons might be responsible. I will allow you to continue your investigation, but I suggest you be more vigilant in your duties. I look forward to receiving your full report. I will summon you again at the appropriate time. If there's nothing further, you're dismissed.
I have some questions first. No questions. Okay, so he's not that happy. Okay, I know that we have that thing to pick up, but, to look at what we do have. Evidence against Graven Ash. The disfavored attempted to bribe me to get iron weapons during the conquest. Disfavored soldiers wanted the Steadfast insignia, an artifact lost in the Old Walls. They sent a civilian to trespass within the Bladegrave Old Walls. Ash's daughter colluded with the Unbroken Regent, producing an heir. Disfavored forces were either unqualified or too undermanned to take Duskwatch by force, demonstrating Ash's misappropriation of soldiers even in his home territory. Garrick, a forge-bound apprentice, sought knowledge within the Old Walls. The garrison looked the other way. Disfavored soldiers murdered blood chanters before the events of the war. During the conquest, Ash sent his soldiers to march on Sentinel Stand, even though the edict was imminent. Disfavored soldiers wanted access to the Twin Rivers Old Walls, and disfavored soldiers encroached on a Scarlet Chorus operation in the Stone Sea, territory legally claimed by the Voices of Narat. On the side of the Voices of Narat, during the conquest, the Scarlet Chorus raided disfavored provisions. The Voices of Narat was feeding the stalwart defenders disfavored battle plans during the conquest. The Scarlet Chorus aided the Unbroken during the Civil War. Jagged Remedy was conscripting from the Unbroken when his forces were forbidden from the region, and the Voices of Narat was using Harchi and Bronze to funnel weapons to the Vendrian Guard. Yeah, it's hard for me to say specifically what the cause is. It could be either. It could be both. I don't know. Either way, that report has been done. Before we continue on the main quest line... Hold on. I wonder if Leaden Mark has anything to speak with us about. No. Okay. So, that said, let's make our first step back the Ocean Spire. There we go. We'll pick up the item we managed to receive. Have you completed forging an item for me? And there we have it. Scorn. So now I can put this weapon here instead of the bronze javelin. Interesting as it is. Tenacity and Goring. +1 resolve, 100% hit precision on targets below 35%. And it is definitely better. So we'll take that. Though I'm probably not going to use it too much because I'm sticking with a sword. Is there anything else I want you to make? Might be interesting to have Sentinel. I mean, we can. We have the broken hilt. We can make it. Can't make the Nightwalker's boots, unfortunately. We don't have Hound's Hide mantle. Commander's plate we could make if we wanted. I don't care to. Alchemist's gloves. This would be good for, this would be good for someone. I think that would actually be worth it for our companion. Yeah, forge that. That would be good for you to have, I think. Definitely so. Okay, so we have a couple of side quests that we need to deal with. First off, let's go to Phlogiston for this side quest we happen to have. The ruined remnants of this town are dusted with a fine layer of ash. Its proximity to the sea did not save it from the flames that rained down upon it when Kyros's Edict of Fire was proclaimed. We'll also eventually go to the secluded forge for, there. Oh! Excuse me. A full-figured woman in a grime-smudged smock beckons to you as your paths cross near the derelict ruins of a nameless town spread amongst the cracked stones of old Azure. She waves excitedly, almost bouncing from foot to foot. "You," she cries out, "look like a traveler of means!" Her voice echoes down the abyssal crevasse between you. Approach her. She tugs on her bandolier, drawing attention to the numerous soot-stained scroll cases stashed on her person. Olive eyes peer at you above a button nose and dimpled cheeks as she excitedly informs you of the rare and potent secret text she has on offer. For a price. Defer to Lantry. Lantry introduces the woman as Sage Antignia, and she admits that she fled the burning library with some scraps that she now wishes to sell to pay her passage through the tears. Interrogate her. You stride fully toward the woman and inform her of your duties as a Fatebinder of Tunon, the adjudicator and an arbiter of the legal code of Kairos. She blanches, her mouth hanging slightly agape. From the look on her face, it seems well aware of the Court of Fatebinders. The woman blinks rapidly at your approach, a hand absently twisting her tightly braided hair. "Ah, Fatebinder. I didn't realize it was you." "Would you have called out if you had recognized me?" Maybe not. Best not to court the attention of the Overlord, right?" "Who are you?" "Jason Pendragon meets Sage Antignia." Lantry steps forward to introduce the two of you. "Tig, meet Fatebinder Jason Pendragon. Sorry I didn't recognize you at first, but you've changed your hair, and in my defense, I'm not entirely sober. And I didn't recognize you as I thought you'd be a pile of ash. It's good to see you escape the edict and are in one piece." Oh, she nods her head toward you. "Did the Fatebinder arrest you? Did I catch you being marched to court?" "Not exactly, but I'm following the Fatebinder's orders. That's all you need to know." Lantry points toward the sage. "Antignia worked on the other side of the citadel from me, but I've known her for ages. She's good people. Mostly harmless." "Yes, entirely harmless. I am Antignia, sage of the School of Quill and Ink," she announces formally, back straightening slightly at the claim. She deflates immediately. "Or was, before the troubles at the Vellum Citadel. I mean, I'm still Antignia, just no longer a sage. Or maybe I'm not Antignia anymore, that being the name I chose when I finished my apprenticeship. I guess I'm still working out exactly how everything fits together now. Regardless, people generally just call me Tig. Feel free to." "What are you doing out here?" "Well, you see, I'm trying to make it to Ardent. Then, I don't know from there. See if a boat can take me elsewhere, maybe even venture into the north, I guess. I just want to be away from the tears and away from war, and just as far away as I can get from the stench of ash and soot. Travel isn't free, though, especially now with the wartime scarcity and the chorus looters. So I've got some scrolls, magical and historical research and the like, that I, rescued from the Citadel. I'm willing to part with them for rings to help me along my way." "You escaped with some of the library's scrolls? Brilliant! I've lost plenty of sleep grieving over all that we left behind." "Let's see what you have on offer." "Oh, you won't be sorry, I promise." Let's see. Bounding Bolts. Spell to bounce to many additional targets. Nice. Greater Sigil of Precise Action. Accuracy, don't care. Sigil of Stone, we have that. Chaotic Descent, we have that. Directed Force, we have that. Influential Domain. Used in spells that target all targets within a circular area. Interesting. Sigil of Force, we have that. Wild Magic. Causes the type of damage caused by a spell to be determined randomly. I mean, it's cheap, so we'll grab that. Influential Domain. Try that. Only need one. And Bounding bolts intrigues me. I'll trade for those. Thank you very much. We'll investigate those in a bit. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we're here. Plus 15 to all Edict of Fire. Black ash and wisps of tiny orange embers litter the air, aimlessly floating and drifting about. All characters in the region are imbued with an increase in magic skill and a greater increase in fire magic skill. The party gains an increase to burn damage that is dealt, and all melee attacks from party members apply a small amount of burn damage. Empowered Bane! Ooh, that doesn't look good. Okay. We learned that, we learned that, and we learned that. So let's see, we've got Influential Domain, that'll be useful. Bounding Bolts, less powerful bounces for spells, and Wild Magic. Alright, let's see, what do we have here? Nothing for Force, nothing for Healing, nothing for that one. Life? Life. Restore the land. Create a healing field in a large area. Allies in the area have random hostile effects removed and have their maximum health increased. Interesting. Ice. Arctic ground. Freeze the ground in an area. Enemies in the area periodically receive a stacking penalty to recovery and might slip and fall prone. Interesting. Nothing for lightning. Nothing for force. Nothing for stone. Fire. Arid lands. Channel energy to form a sweltering zone of sultry heat in an area. As long as enemies remain in the field, they are constantly fatigued. And this one. Slumber. Muddle the minds of foes in an area, forcing them into a potent sleep, unaffected by the noise of combat. Attacks will wake sleeping enemies. That actually could be very useful. That's one I think we'll give to, what's-her-name. Anyway, let's go through Phlogiston. We need to find something here. Some fruit in there. Skinner. Oh. Something we can loot over here. Including Remarkable Sigil of Strength. I may not have the ability, but I know someone who does. You, my good friend, you can learn it. Remarkably increases the strength of a spell. Holy crap! Sigil of Strength 4. Oh. Oh my. 40 goes up to 40% health. That would be amazing. And we actually have enough that you can do that. So please do so. We can also improve these immensely. They're only 135. Healing Aura would actually be a good thing to have, I think. You can get a great boost to Healing Wisps. Okay. Oh, I am happy. Anyway, back to looking around here. There is someone... What are we here for again? It's not that one. Find Phoebe in the village of Phlogiston. Ah, Wagstaff wants us to kill a sage named Phoebe. That's what it was. I can't. Okay, we can work on this. Another thing to loot here. Here's a whole bunch of, Okay, Phoebe is up there. A short, shifty-eyed man puffs up his chest as you approach. Didn't expect to see many visitors out here. What do you need? Know anything about the captured sages? I only know we're under orders to nab them and interrogate them. Crass Kalia is the only one who could tell you for sure why. What's your role in the gang? Me? I'm the eyes and ears. Been pulling scout duty since we lost Shrill Tantrum to the disfavored. When I'm not watching over the gang, I'm watching over this one. He points to the woman standing near him. Contusion here is mine, so hands off. She's been a little odd since the injury, but she's still in there, mostly. A tall, wiry woman peers intently at a scrap of parchment in her hand, tracing the contours of an elaborate drawing with her finger. Like tree, but prettier. She giggles approvingly at its contents, scratching the area around a noticeable dent in her forehead. As you approach, she crumples up the drawing and stuffs it in her shirt. Are you friend? Sure, why not? Good, good. No need to kill you then. Not in mood for killing right now. What do you want? What happened to your forehead? She taps at her forehead, a confused expression spreads across her face as she hunts around for something on her face, oblivious to the injury. What do you mean? Did I make a mess again? She hasn't any memory of the incident. I'm just lucky to still have her. What do you do in this gang? Warrior, toughest of the crew. Needletoe husband, Callia boss. Skinner is little boss. Ragwort cooks, gang's family. How long have you and Needletoe been together? What do you mean? Needle is made for life. Is that long? Says we're together forever. Maybe someday we'll scrape, he says. Honey, don't tell everything to the stranger. He leans in to grab her arm, blushing as he does. I told her someday we'll scrape together enough rings to afford some real food for a change. Scrape? Did you mean escape? Yeah, that's what he said. She's been off since the injury. I'm lucky to still have contusion, strangeness and all. Not going to risk that by escaping, that's nonsense. What's the parchment you're playing with? Pretty drawing. Skinner's plays with sages and said Sage so happy he gave drawing as gift. She holds out the wrinkled parchment, which contains a prominent sigil and many paragraphs of scholarly exposition. The drawing looks faded. I can make a prettier copy for you. You make nice drawing for me? You produce a pen and clean parchment. As she hands you the scroll, you copy its sigil precisely, adding minor embellishments to exaggerate its features. Contusion claps excitedly as you add the flourishes. As she gazes adoringly at her new gift, you tuck the now unwanted scroll away in your pack. We already know it. Oh well. Moving on. Skinner, so he's the lower boss. Come closer, chum. The soldier twirls his axe as he calls out to you. Let's have a good look at you. The chorus warrior scans you from head to toe, twirling his axe and puffing up his chest as he looks you over. The boss said we're only free to kill disfavored, but if you've come here for a fight, I'm sure we can oblige. So what brings you to this shit stain of a village? Who's in charge here? That would be Crass Callia. She's the one always looking like she's having a shittier time than everyone else. Look for the blood chanter on the rooftop north of here. No doubt she's contemplating whether or not our problems can be solved with, I don't know, fire. What's your role in the gang? Me? I'm the fun one. Callia makes the decisions, but I get to enforce them. When things are quiet, I'm the hunt master, since none of these jolly idiots can discern deer spoor from dog shit. I'm here for a sage named Phoebe. Yeah, you could be in luck. We captured a few that were lurking in the area, but I didn't pay attention to their names. When you're trying to interrogate them, details like that feel so secondary. You should talk to the boss about them. Learn anything from the sages? This isn't the sort of thing I should be sharing with outsiders. Talk to Crascalia herself if you care so much. Which I shall do. Let's just take a look at the rest of this particular area. Just a regular scroll. Alright. We'd have to go up for that. So let's do so. And there's Crascalia and Phoebe. Also someone named Ragwort. A tall, heavily scarred blood chanter stands before three bound and bloodied sages. She raises her palm, bright orange with an unnatural heat, and presses it to one of the captive's eyes. His agonized screams blend together with the hiss of cooking flesh, ending only after he slumps over, passed out. She hears your approach and turns around, panting slightly from exertion. Kairos' fetid merkin, a fate-binder out here of all places. She winces briefly, patting a tightly wound bandage covering her ribs. I know the voices of the rat wants your eviscerated heart, but I have no interest in trying to collect. Not when we have work to do. I'd prefer my gang save our strength to fight the disfavored, so keep your weapons lowered and we'll do the same. So what do you want? How do you get that wound? I let my guard down. Didn't watch my flank, got slashed in the ribs by some runt sage and his ridiculous quill knife. She grimaces as she adjusts the bandages around her midsection. I need to speak with this. What were the sages doing here when you found them? Nothing seems to arouse these sages more than the idea of reclaiming their precious knowledge. No doubt they meant to sneak into the burning library. Otherwise, why trudge through this sad eyesore of country? They aren't talking, though. Not that these sages could ever get past our garrison, unless they meant to take a different route. They may be soft, but they aren't idiots. They're up to something, and I intend to find out. I need to speak with the sages. Fat chance, Fatebinder. I'll respect your rights as Tunon's lapdog up to a point. She jabs a finger at a shivering, blood-stained sage. Your title is the only thing that separates you from these traitors. Narat will drive a spike up my ass if he learns that I let you talk to them, so no fucking way. I can take out my aggression on the sages or you. Have a preference? She grips her staff and studies you intently. Well, shit, if you had asked so nicely in the beginning, we would have saved a lot of time. She turns and delivers a vicious kick to Phoebe's ribs. Have at her. What the fuck do I care? Fatebinder, she's all yours. Let's see if you can do better than my men. They've all had a go at Phoebe. Probably to see who can get that bookworm to say anything of worth first. First, let's see this ragwort person. The chorus warrior halts her work of grinding spices with a mortar and pestle as you approach, and the sharp pungent smells of herbs and oil stand out over the prevailing smell of char in the village. You, need something? Callia speaks for the gang. You probably want to have words with her instead. Tell me about the captive sages. I've scarcely had words with them, which suits me fine. She jerks her head towards Skinner. He's our torture enthusiast. Maybe speak with him. What's your role in the gang? Me? I just do what Callia says and try not to get in the way. Since most of these louts can't smell over their own stink, the honor of cooking falls to me. She wipes her nose across her arm before returning to the work of grinding her mortar and pestle. I can't complain. It insulates me from abuse. Even Skinner knows better than to mistreat the person who's preparing her food. Now let's speak with Phoebe. Another interrogator? Injured and restrained, the middle-aged woman manages a weak smile between swollen and blood-caked lips. Though cuts and burns run the length of her body, her quiet composure grants her a surprising measure of dignity. Apologies if I'm running short on screams. Sage Phoebe, you're looking like you're staying active. Oh, for the love of... Why am I not surprised to see the Overlord's most loyal fanatic on the side of my captors? Do you want to tell her Wagstaff wants her dead, or shall I? If Wagstaff sent you... then there is little to discuss. What's the story with you and Wagstaff? I figured even you northerners would know how the School of Ink and Quill and the Tidecasters hate each other. Wagstaff was the enemy, then Kyrus's minions showed up. I want the details. Enlighten me. We were friends and rivals, then just rivals. Did you come all this way to interrogate me about such gossip? I already know about the unmentionables. He spared a few details. I want your side of the story. That loose-lipped beast-rutting pig? Fucker couldn't hop on the flotilla with the rest of those briny cowards. Yes, we had a relationship, as physically stimulating as it was mentally exhausting. It was a tryst that spanned decades. Our schools forbade any such pairing, and common sense did so as well, but the danger only made it more intoxicating. What did you gain from your collaboration with Wagstaff? A plethora of volatile emotions and coitus-driven reconciliation, if you'll pardon my candor. It's a bit strange to recall such things while festooned with bruises. Again, pardon the candor. My mistake. I'm merely assuming you two work together, as I can't imagine Wagstaff discovered all that he told me about by himself. Her eyes light up, and for a moment it seems the fatigue of repeated interrogations lift from her face. That lousy prick! His discoveries? Together, he and I discovered something special. His understanding of occulted Jade's magic and my knack for expressions, it all came together when we pooled our rings to purchase a text copied from the Forge-bound. But we could not come forward with our findings, as neither would be rewarded for our discoveries, but rather punished for our collaborations. So our findings, like our trysts, had to remain a private matter. You don't seem surprised that Wagstaff sent me. We didn't part amicably, and the man holds grudges like no other. Part of me expected he'd hire some miscreants to delve out copious fustigation. Tell me, did he ask you to bring anything back with you after the deed? An eye? A toe, perchance? He asked me to bring back whatever you were carrying. It's as I suspected. He wants my writings. He's too late. Perhaps this is the upside of all my scrolls going up in flames. That trenchant-mouthed water warlock can't have them. Tell me about this discovery of yours. She averts her gaze. Oh, just some refinements to existing theories of water magic. Revelatory in the academian sense, meaningless to a adventuresome, practical sort like yourself. So, did you stumble upon some undiscovered accent or some new arcane power? I assure you such matters are not beneath me. I can't help you. The writings weren't where they were supposed to be, and I couldn't rewrite it from memory. The knowledge is as good as gone. My tidecaster here isn't so fond of sages. No doubt she'd be eager to jostle your memory. Indeed, I'd love to pick her brain. Slowly. She gives Ebb a worried glance. I know all too well you mean that rather literally. Fine, I'll talk. Between his understanding of fluid forms, my understanding of preservation magic, and our pilfered forge-bound text, we bumped into a most curious discovery. We pioneered an expression that affects the transition of metal from molten state back to solid. We called it aqueous metallurgy, though I think the name is loftier than any practical applications that came of our work. Coming forward with our research presented problems, but then the war broke out. There became larger concerns for all involved. I hid what I thought was the only copy of our work, but it was claimed by fire or stolen by a looter who got here first. And where did you stash your writings on aqueous metallurgy? It was here in the village, but someone found it before. No more playing coy, it's still here. How about this? If you kill my captors and swear by Kairos that I walk out of here alive, I'll tell you where it's hidden. I'll not slaughter them so needlessly. Or convince them to let me go, but I think we both know brutes listen only to violence. Of late, they seem to be amused with wagering on events in the burning library. I'm sure you could get them fighting if you put your mind to it. I'll see if I can stir some discord. I swear by Kairos that shall I leave this place alive, or you will have naught but silence from me. Oh, swear by Kairos that I shall leave this place alive. You're in no position to make demands. I'll help you, you help me. End of story. Then we are done. Okay, fine. I'll try it that way. I swear by Kairos you will leave this place alive. Thanks for seeing reason. I'll be here when you're done. Fatebinder. Are you aware that your men have wagers on who will recover the silent archive? Got to find something to entertain them, no? If wasting their breath helps them blow off some steam, so be it. She grabs the sage's face by the chin and moves it from side to side, examining her wounds. We all need our hobbies. Gambling is illegal. I have no choice to punish the offenders. Unless you can perform a service to the court in recompense. So, that's how it's going to go. What's the price? Release the sages. She taps the blood-stained bandages around her ribs. You remember who the enemy is, right? How in Kairos' name... You know what? Fine. Take them. Threatening your allies and releasing your enemies. You have a strange sense of justice, Fatebinder. Welcome back, Fatebinder. I was able to convince the chorus to let you go. The sage looks momentarily dazed. I can scarcely believe this, Fatebinder. That we could ever be free of the chorus, and that you would ever help us. As far as I'm concerned, they're both minor miracles. Thank you. Thank you for my life, though feel free to spread the word that I'm a corpse. Life might be easier that way. As for my writings, they're in a smashed chest to the southwest, hidden between a burnt tree and the carcass of a wagon. Safe travels. All right, then.
On it.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's really well hidden. Tome of Aqueous Metallurgy. This book contains an extensive knowledge of information regarding how to mix Forgebound and Tidecaster magic together in beneficial ways. Alright, mission accomplished. We'll return back in the next episode, because this one has definitely gone on way long enough. A bit longer than expected. Next episode, we'll bring the stuff back, and I think we'll also see if we can deal with Barrack at last with that quest that we have up here in the secluded forge. But that'll be in the next episode, so until then, I'm Chester44, that is Jason Pendragon, Barrack, Lantry, and Ebb. This has been a Let's Play of Tyranny, and I shall see you all next time.